everyone. Today I wanted to talk about Sun in the fifth house. This is part of the Sun sign series where I talk about your sun sign in each of the houses on the zodiac wheel. So it doesn't matter what your actual sun sign is, like your zodiac sign. You could be a Taurus sun, you could be a Libra sun, or any other sign in the zodiac. But this is talking about which house your sun falls in. So today I'm going to be talking about the sun in the fifth house. Before I get started with the rest of the video, I wanted to let you guys know that I do natal chart readings. So I look at your birth chart, I look at the energies playing out. I give you guidance as to what blockages you may be facing. I give you recommendations how to remove these blockages and how to move forward in your life. I also do synastry chart readings, which are relationship compatibility readings. So if you're in a relationship, if you're trying to get into one, and you want to know what it's going to be like, I can help you with a synastry chart reading. And I also do tarot readings, as you've seen from a lot of videos on my channel. I do tarot card readings where I focus on monthly readings, I focus on weekly readings. So I can do love readings for you, I can do career guidance, basically any topic that you want to. You can contact me for that and I'll do a tarot reading for you. If you want to contact me for any of these, I also, by the way, do one-on-one counseling sessions where if you're facing any obstacles, some major challenges, I can take you through that. And it's like a hand-holding, one-on-one session where I take you through these issues that you may be facing. So if you want to contact for any of these, you can contact on my Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Venusianscorp. You can also drop me an email at astroluck111@gmail.com and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Both the links are in the description box below, so be sure to contact me. So let's get started. Today we're talking about the sun in the fifth house. So first I'm going to talk about what the sun represents, then I'm going to talk a little bit about the fifth house and then this placement in your chart. So the sun basically represents our ego, our sense of identity, our sense of self. The sun is radiant. The sun represents vitality, the sun illuminates whatever it touches. So, whichever zodiac sign your sun is in and whichever house it's in, it's going to amplify that energy because it's a sun. So, the sun directly correlates with your sense of self, like I said, your ego, your identity, it's your core self. The fifth house represents leisure, it represents hobbies, it represents things that you do in your recreation. Traditionally, the fifth house is ruled by Leo, which incidentally is ruled by the sun in terms of planetary rulership. And the fifth house also has to do with children. So when you've got sun in the fifth house, your sense of self, because that's the sun, your sense of identity, your ego, that is all, it's defined to a large extent by your hobbies, by your passions in life, by what you do when you're in leisure. So you may have a regular 9 to 5 corporate job, you may be in a business or any other mode of earning income, but you may feel like you come alive the most when you're pursuing your hobbies, when you're pursuing the things that really drive you from the inside. Now, if you have a career that is your hobby, then that is ultimate bliss, right? Because you're doing something that really fuels your passion. The fifth house also has to do with children. So in some way, your sense of identity may be very strongly connected to doing something for children, whether that be through a job, like you could be a babysitter, you could be, some kind of profession that has to do with taking care of children. Maybe a teacher, a school children, teaching school children, or having kids of your own may be very, very important to you. It's like an important milestone to you, which helps you have a greater sense of purpose in life. Now, of course, I always say that these videos that I do are just singular expressions of that planet in that zodiac house, so I'm talking about the sun in the fifth house, but it's going to depend on so many things. It's going to depend on the state of the fifth house, the ruler of the fifth house, what zodiac sign is sitting there, aspects that are being made to your sun sign. A lot of things like Lilith. If you've got Lilith in the fifth house, for example, you may have a fear of having children. I'm just saying, like, it depends on a lot of things in your birth chart. So don't get me wrong, when I post these videos, it's just isolated cases that I'm posting about. It's of course going to depend on your whole chart, which is why I say if you want to get a full reading done, you should contact me. But if we talk about just the sun in the fifth house, then yes, something to do with children is going to be very, very important to your sense of self. Like, it's going to give you a sense of wholeness, a sense of purpose in your life when you pursue these activities related to children. Like, you may take up a social cause which has to do with children. And I say social cause because the opposite of the fifth house is the 11th house, which is traditionally ruled by Aquarius, which is a humanitarian sign, which is about taking up causes that help society and help humanity as a whole. So maybe your sense of identity, which is your sun, is very strongly shaped by taking up a cause that helps children, or helps children in need, or helps uplift children in some way. But essentially it has something to do with children, you know. You, like I said, your job may focus around children, like taking care of children, like literally being a babysitter or a school teacher, or something that helps children in some way, or in some way you're connected to children. Your job could also be about taking your hobbies and turning them into a full-time job. Like, you know, that's what I said, like, your sense of ego and identity is very, very strongly connected to what you pursue in your leisure time. So you may have some hobbies that are very dear to your heart, and even if you've got another job that is completely disconnected from your hobbies because it pays the bills, you will still want to make time for these hobbies in your life, because that gives you a sense of purpose, that makes you feel whole and alive, and it makes you feel like um, it just feeds your ego. It feeds your sense of identity and sense of self. And because the fifth house is traditionally ruled by Leo, which is the sun, you may enjoy the limelight quite a bit. Because sun and fifth house individuals, they do have some Leo characteristics, not all of them, but a lot of them do. You may enjoy the limelight, you may like being in front of the camera, you may like the attention, and you do tend to get a lot of attention. Sun and the fifth house people generally tend to be very charismatic, very magnetic. When they walk into a room, people do tend to take notice. So you do have that like charisma and magnetism about you. Of course, like I said, it's going to depend on aspects with your fifth house. It's going to depend on the rulership of the fifth house. Like, you could be an Aquarius sun in the fifth house, which is kind of paradoxical because the fifth house is ruled by Leo and you've got your opposite sign sitting there. So it completely changes the flavor of your sun sign. So, but in general, this is just a gist of what the sun in the fifth house looks like. And yeah, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If it resonated with you, do post a comment in the comment box. And if you'd like to get a reading done, do contact me. The links are in the description box, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.